Welcome back, everyone, to the National Championships Ultimate Frisbee here in Del Mar outside San Diego 2019, the 40th year of this tournament being held. And Emmy Fitzgerald and I'm Tony Leandro. We are here to bring you a quarterfinal elimination matchup between New York PoNY, the defending champions, and the surprising 16 seed Portland Rhino Slam. Emmy, what are your thoughts on this David versus Goliath match?
If you saw Rhino's pre-quarter match against Boston Dig, you wouldn't think this is a David versus Goliath match. They were so strong and had so much energy. They would get turns on Dig and just had a force of momentum headed towards the end zone. Lots of layouts, using their body, the energy that they had on the sideline. All of that has propelled them to this moment that I bet they do not see themselves as the underdog right now.
Yeah, they told me a couple of their players kind of laughed when I was talking to them, and they said, "Well, we're not the coaches or captains of this team." Well, they don't even have a coach, so they're very loose. And they said, we have nothing to lose and something to prove, and that can take you a long way. And it's going to take you as far as until someone stops you. So it's up to PoNY here to try to stop this Rhino Slam run.
Exactly. I mean, you still have to play the game. I mean, we've seen time and time again that the seedings just do not matter at all. Okay, they're a 16 seed team coming in essentially last into the tournament, but they won the games they needed to, and they are here. Now, on the other side, PoNY, they have a few tricks up their sleeve, and they have just such depth of personnel that so many people know so well that we'll expect to see today.
Yeah, this is you can only call them a veteran team at this point. A few years ago, you would say this could be PoNY versus Rhino Slam would be kind of a pre-quarters match between these two unheralded teams. That all changed in a blink in 2017, with PoNY making a stab at it at quarters, dropping back down, and then the surprising run last year all the way to the championship. And here they are, defending champions, looking strong, looking good, facing the upstart Portland team here in white. There's Rhino Slam on the line. Here are some of your defenders for Pride of New York. That's what PoNY stands for. Conrad Schlor, their number 47. Jabron Meeser, number 66, to start on the D-line here. And the D-line, a hallmark of this team. Coach Brian Jones likes to dial in some different defenses, stay loose, stay tight. You never quite know where they're going to come up with and what they're going to start off here, as Portland will start on offense, moving it up through the youngsters. That's number 30, Sam Frainer. And this huck will go up right away. Conrad Schlor is there, and he does not get it. It's skied out of the air instead by Rafi Hayes, one of the veterans of this team. 1-0 for Rhino Slam.
It was a PoNY sandwich right there with Hayes right in the middle, and
we're looking at the monitor
yes,
now.
He just times it perfectly.
Schlor there, Babbitt behind him, but Rafi Hayes makes the play. A person to watch, of course. We know Rafi Hayes can get that done. Purston, another one on this line for Rhino Slam. He will stay on the D line. Leandro Marks, another fast, speedy guy for the O-line here, as we see Rafi Hayes walk off. One of the captains of this team, Rafi, also Vin Buoy, Trevor Smith, John Lee. No coach for this team, but some of the players, Amy told me that a recent transplant to the city has helped them a little bit on the sidelines. Can you guess who that might be?
That puts me on the spot a little bit,
but
I will say Chris Hancock.
Okay, no, it's not a player.
Okay.
He's not listed on this roster.
Oh.
It's
a
coach.
Gosh. A certain I honestly, I don't know. I do not
know. It's
know.
Mike Payne from Revolver fame.
Oh, okay.
He who started the Intensity, Humility, Discipline, IHD hallmark of the Revolver run. 5 championships to his name. His resume as a coach is in Portland, and their teams told me that he kind of helped them a little bit on the outside of this. Of course, it's the players and the captains of this team that make it happen, not Payne on the sidelines, but he can help from a distance. Keegan now wearing number 89, the center point, along with Alex Thorne, and it's a drop from Keegan right away. Chance for Rhino Slam to get a break. On the doorstep, And there is no open receiver. So a sloppy offensive start for the New York Pony team.
What is it?
Buoy has the disc.
Coming out on 4. Coming out on 4.
Timmy Purston there with the bright orange ski cap. A monster in the air. You don't need any air support here on a short field, however. Buoy looking around. We'll drop it back. Give and go. It's covered well. Slam's going to have to fight for this. What a layout grab, but he's not in. That's Daniel Lee, another one of the captains. And he dumps it back for Kyle Hambone, and there's a call. Ooh. Jimmy Mickle calling a stall on Daniel Lee.
Let's just talk it out. Let's just talk it out. Let's talk it out, all right?
Everyone's getting a little hot now.
You know, that's a different thing, but it was definitely in your hand when I said 10. I disagree with that completely.
You can hear Jimmy and Daniel.
Okay, so do you want to leave it
as
as contested, or do you want to come to me? Okay, stall called, coming to the observer. I thought that was a fast count, not a stall.
Fast count.
I know, but I can, not a. It'll come. No, it'll stay there. It'll stay there.
Marvin, no stall?
Yeah. No.
No stall. Observer ruling is no stalls there.
Hambone with the disc now.
Yeah, he gave the wrong signal. Don't worry.
Another veteran, the 31-year-old. Half this team is new. The other half is Hambone, Hancock, and Purston, and Vin Buoy. This disc is low, but it's dug out, and that's a goal.
Still not in.
Probably it was in. I'll take it back. Nice swinging around, looking for Lee through the middle, but can't get to him. Excellent defense from this Pony O-line.
A lot of switches, playing the space. Still not in.
This is not a lot of sliding. This field has been like that, and finally there it is. They work it around, they finally get the hit they're looking for. That's Patrick Beckett with the score. The throw from Daniel Lee, and it's 2-0 quickly, just like that, to Rhino Slam, the 16 seed.
And it is a really, really fortunate start certainly for Rhino to get that break right away, and that is some of that grit and grind that we've seen from them throughout this weekend. You do have to give credit, though, to the Pony defense there as well. I think there were 4 different passes that were right on the goal line, not in, as they had so many switches and going into the space that really made them work, but they still scored, and now Pony is at the disadvantage. They have to really close a small gap, but still one nonetheless.
It was great defense by the O-line, but that's not what you put the O-line out on the field for. Nonetheless, I agree with you, Emmy. But Emmy, you know, also, this is how they started yesterday in their pool play game against Sub-Zero. Both teams at 2-0, so the winner of that game was going to advance and win the pool. Pony goes down 0-0, 0-2, just like they do here. They came back to win that game on Universe.
Yes, so obviously it's not how you start the game, it's how you end the game, and it is really taking control of the mental toughness, and they say game to 3. Okay, well, currently Rhino is up 2-0, but I'm sure Pony now will want to start their own game to 3 as the O-line just marched right back down onto the line.
Grant Lindsley, the newcomer to the New York scene. Huck from Mickle to Ben Yacht, the big target down deep, and he cannot quite dig it out. A little muscle, a little too much muscle from Jimmy Mickle. And Ben gives his all. The big man Yacht having to go low. Not the best for a big man. And now Rhino Slam with another opportunity.
He read it really well.
This unfortunately right to the turf. Into a little bit of a crosswind, and Harper Garvey will walk to the disc in this trademark visor and shades. Pick it up to Mickle. Mickle will survey, looking for Kocher or Keegan, 2 teammates he's played with and won titles with. Instead up to Kocher. Kocher had his man, did not find him, and looking for Jimmy to get open. Jimmy does a little dishy up the line, but is not in. Through the legs. To Ben Yacht, the spike and the score. A little exciting for a short corner.
Extremely small spaces, and yet another where it was caught right on the goal line and still not in. And maybe that's not the most textbook, trying to cram it in that corner right there.
Did he go through the legs on this throw?
Let's take a
No,
look.
He just got low. Just a low backhand that, you know, could have been a 5-hole, but was not. So a hold there in exciting fashion for this PoNY O-line. You know, one thing that was notable about this New York team is that the toughness that they showed last year. They can get a little cranky.
We can all get a little
We
cranky.
can all get a little cranky, for sure. And you know, you saw a little bit there. The Mickle throw to Ben Yacht, he just had a little too much emotion running through his body when he let that one go. Like, he was probably a little upset about that last point that they gave up, and he put a little too much mustard on that opening pass. Now
And
let's see
the
what
wind
they're.
did pick up a little bit too, right as that point was starting as well. It was gusty, which probably contributed to Mickle's throw as well as the turf that we saw from Rhino.
You know, Emmy, you had asked me earlier when was the last time Rhino had been in quarterfinals, and I was like, well, they sure were there in 1994. So this team name goes back a ways, and then it wasn't that name for some time in Portland. They revived the name, I don't know, maybe 10 years ago, and I'm not sure when we saw them in quarters. And Leandro marks there, I think, with the disc. He slings it up. So Rafi Hayes will put this up. Nice dime ball. This should work. Perfect throw in rhythm.
Hang on though. Bring it back.
This is coming all the way back. We can see the observer over here. Marvin from Colorado, Marvin Vong, as Bo Kittredge
Do you just want to bring it back,
talking
or
about-
do we want
Not
to come
quite
to
sure
me?
where it's going back to yet, but
Leandro marks.
I think it was on the throw before the hook.
Okay. Coming to the observer, no travel. Stays there.
Stays with
No,
Rafi
only one throw.
Hayes.
Yeah, one throw
But
here.
only one throw
So where
continuation.
you were when he caught it.
So that beautiful hook from Hayes to Sam Frainer will not count, and Hayes will have the disc here guarded by Jack Hatchett. Hayes checks it in. Nice throw up the line and finds John Lee, one of the captains. Marks again, the Oregon Fugue player. Sorry, Ego. Marks. Saw him a lot at college nationals this year. Drops it back. And a little body, a little too much body on the defense from Matt Lamar, guarding Owen Murphy there.
Coming in on one.
Murphy, one of the guys I was talking to before this game, Emmy, about how they had nothing to lose and something to prove. And Sam Frainer comes down with it. They stick with what works. Hucks over the top. And that is Murphy to Frainer for the hold.
And I think Frainer was the target earlier with the huck throw that went back. And really, really smart throwing technique there. That's very difficult on that same third right up the line. The amount of angle that they have to have from Owen Murphy made it really easy for Hainer to get there. But Rhino still showing that I don't want to say dominance, because I think that's probably a little bit too strong of a word, but showing a lot of poise. They're sticking to their game plan. They're doing what works. And PoNY, I'm sure, I know Brian Jones always has a lot of different defensive looks, likes to change it up, and we'll see more of that this game.
He's going to have to figure out the over the top. It's certainly been already 3 times. All 3 scores have been over the tops from this Rhino Slam team. I'd like to give a shout out to some of the old timers from both teams that are following along their teams for Rhino Slam. Cody Bjorklund, Steve Kenton, Eli Janin, Grant Cole, Adrian as well, cheering their team on. And for Pride of New York, of course, Alex Masulis, Jody Avragan, the list is endless. And here's a big huck from Mickle to Kocher with an army on top of him from Rhino Slam, and Kocher comes down with it. Immediately looking for Alex Thorne, but no, he's got Grant Lindsley wide open, and that will count. And that's a goal. Give a lot of credit to Chris Kocher for that.
Now, Rhino's first goal was a huck catch and coverage. It was PoNY's turn to have one as well. Chris Kocher triple teamed, and I think somebody was kind of hanging onto his back even a little bit, but that didn't matter at all. He had so much strength and poise, but the best part is that he had 2 other teammates. Let's take another look. Now, he did have the best positioning as that throw went up. He didn't have to go through anyone to get to that disc.
But the Rhino ran past the disc a little bit, so yeah, he got that position by reading it properly right off the bat. Now, Emmy, we talked a bit about this game. One person we haven't seen play yet this weekend, who is new to this New York PoNY team, is Jeff Babbitt, of course, the star out of UMass Amherst. You see the big man there, number 87. We're looking at him. He is a game changer. Last time he was here 2 years ago at Nationals with Dig, they took 3 straight games winning on 3 straight breaks at the end of the game. That is a Babbitt type of finish. So a defensive stopper, he changes the field when he's on it. You don't want to throw deep on him. So right there is the change BJ might have dialed in, putting Jeff on the field. Owen Murphy with the disc. Babbitt not in the deep space as he's forced to guard a handler now. And they'll swing it to that handler, Lee. He'll send it deep. It's caught again by Rafi Hayes. Hayes juking, trying to get open for Leandro Marks. Marks can't find him. They recenter. Big fake, looking for Marks. Maybe drop it back to Murphy, and there's a call.
And Hayes just cherry-picked that out of the air.
What is the call?
Good out there.
Yeah, second type.
Too far away.
I'd already gotten to 5 by the time he called it. So I feel like you were like looking around for options.
You do need to call that earlier.
Okay.
You need to call that earlier.
Okay.
If you're gonna wait till he's at stall 5, that's not gonna count.
Okay.
Okay? We're coming in on 5. Coming in on 5.
Great to hear these observers mic'd up. And over the hammer top, tipped by Babbitt. Sorry, that's tipped by Ben Katz, but caught. And Rhino Slam continues their run as they score another hold here.
That was a very low hammer that did not look like it was going to complete, to be honest. But that was also really good spacing from Rhino as well, that you're back far enough to be able to make that reception. And Rhino's still able to maintain their 2-goal lead.
That's John Lee, number 12 there. You can see this Rafi Hayes pick over Conrad Schlor right there. I think Schlor is going to get that one, but no, it's Hayes. Here's the hammer, tipped by Ben Katz and caught by John Lee. One of the captains again, keeping this team dialed in. You know, Timmy Purston, one of the veterans on this team, told me, I asked him what it's like, you know, getting to quarters and being at the national championships with this team that hasn't really been to quarters since, well, maybe '94. And he said,
I'm curious, Twitterverse, let us know.
Oh yeah, that's true.
When was the last time Rhino was in quarters? Did not have a chance to ask them. I thought maybe if I saw Dylan Freechild earlier, thought maybe he might know, but didn't have a chance. So let us know.
We're gonna check our Twitter feeds.
Yes.
Tweet at us, tell us. Emmy and Tony here, and of course Aaron Moraka, who just texted to us that Mischief is up 4-0 in their game right now in the mixed division. This pull will land a little bit too. Anyway, back to Person. He told me, wow, that is a perfect pull.
It doesn't get much better than at the back of the end zone, Callahan country.
This is scary territory for PoNY, and they will get out of it. There's a pick call. This huck will go up to Ben Yacht. He's got to catch it, and he will, and this will have to come back now. Looking right up into the sun was that one. You saw both players sort of pause.
There was a pick. We're trying to figure out if it was 1 or 2 throws ago.
And it's straight up into that western setting sun.
So back here where he caught it.
So that angle of that release is not what you want to dial up. I thought the defender could have like knocked that out of the sky, but he might not have ever have seen that disc.
Might not have seen it.
Well, we're going to let him get in a position. You didn't have a stall count on?
I believe that's Alex Thorne with the disc. Another
Whenever you're
pickup
ready.
for this team out of the Pittsburgh area, of course.
And he knew that they were in difficult territory, put up that huck. But now it seems like PoNY settled a little more into their offensive set.
Yeah, but I like this Rhino Slam defense. Here's Thorne, streaking Keegan deep. Can't find him. Garvey to too far for Jimmy Mickle. And a break opportunity again for Rhino Slam. The huck goes up. Kocher is there and not there. It's skied and caught for the goal. The break, that's a goal for Portland Rhino Slam.
Another break for Rhino as they just wipe down in the end zone. Going to what we've seen all game, right over the top. Kocher goes up early.
That's fearless, and Daniel Lee comes down with it.
Daniel Lee not concerned at all. You don't see Jimmy lay out that often.
It's Captain Vin Buoy hitting Daniel Lee with that one. And this team is zoned in. Nothing is stopping them. A timeout call from PoNY right now. Emmy, what do you talk about in this timeout if you're PoNY?
I think you have to stay calm. Clearly, we're seeing the Rhino huddle right now. I think, honestly, the more difficult huddle is actually the Rhino huddle.
Okay.
Because when teams are up, you really run the risk of getting comfortable and getting complacent. And they have been the underdogs all weekend.
Yeah.
And so you see them. This is the most important time for Rhino Slam to dial in and say, look, no lead is safe.
It's not enough.
We're not done yet. We are still very, very early on in the game. And now PoNY has something to prove.
Okay. Yep.
So I'm really curious to see how, from a mental game, the psychology part of it, how either both teams come out of this timeout.
That's a good point, Amy. I agree with you. If they, for some reason, even sometimes the slightest little let up, if you let it become a thing, like well, we've got a little bit of an advantage here, you know.
Yeah, it doesn't matter. And PoNY's like, please do that.
Yeah.
You give them anything, they will convert.
They will take it and then they'll go with it. And a score update. Chicago Machine, we had them on the stream the other day, and my mistake on the call there in a pool play game that a win took them to win the pool over Truck Stop. They are currently leading in their quarterfinal elimination game 3-2 over the San Francisco Revolver Squad. We didn't get a Twitter response yet. Who knows the Rhino Slam Portland quarterfinals history? Of course, they were here at Nationals last year. No quarters appearance there. It's not easy to make quarters.
No.
It took PoNY quite a while to get to that spot. Top 8 in the country. Sorry, North America.
Yes.
So you're not just battling Idaho and Chicago and Seattle and Dallas and Houston and San Francisco and Los Angeles, and I could go on. You're also battling Vancouver and Toronto. That's why it's the national championships, the USAU championships.
If it's too far, say fast count.
You're too far. That's not even the actual power.
Okay.
So I think I was within 10 feet. I waited until I was like close and straight up on you and started selling. And I didn't hear you say anything until violation of 5. Okay. Like I'm not. So so I get why.
All right.
You're
Hey,
fine.
are you guys going to resolve or you need me to step in?
I mean, I think you started too far away. Okay. And that's.
I
tried to start it. Yeah.
I'm gonna go to you, the observer.
All right. My rule is yes, you were too far away at the start, so it's a fast count. We're going back to 1.
Okay.
Wow, all that for
Coming in
just
on
a
one.
couple of
Coming in
seconds.
on
So they're splitting hairs here. Keegan with the disc, though, backing off his defender there, making sure that he gets the time needed. Defender there, Dan Young. Kocher with the disc now, Mickle on the under. You know, there's been some discussion of whether people know this offense from PoNY, and I think we're seeing that with Portland Rhino Slam now as the open Thorne gets this one. And the open Lindsley fakes to Yacht and is surveying. Keegan. Yeah.
That almost was, you got it? No, you got it. Managed to make it work.
Tell they're out of rhythm. Kocher. Great defense from Slam. Jimmy trying to juke his way open. Mikkel, the Callahan winner from some years ago. Garvey, the D3 dishy, up to Sean Keegan for the goal.
Sometimes all it takes is a little push pass at the front of the end zone to make it work. But I think Mikkel's footwork there to keep that possession active and keep that handler movement in the backfield really showcases the skill that he has on the field. You see big throws, but he is really talented at getting open just by another little stutter step or faking out with the little shimmies that he does with his shoulders. That was more of what we come to know and expect from PoNY.
Such a big body is Jimmy Mikkel, and it's amazing how he can get open on the reset unders. You think you could kind of close him down on the under, and he's just too quick-footed. But you let him go upfield, he's going to crush you. You know, he's a gigantic receiver in the air, so you know it's understandable that he's a hard package to guard.
So now I think they've switched up the D-line a little bit for New York.
Yeah, first time we're seeing some of these folks out here. Marquez Brownlee, of course, Isaac Saul is out there. When was the last time Rhino made quarters? There's the trivia. We haven't had the answer yet. My guess is 94. 2014.
Oh.
Bama Sex.
Oh.
Look at that. All they did was just go to Score Reporter and just dial it up. Okay. Bama Sex. Rhino Slam defeated Sockeye. I remember that, actually. That's interesting. As the 7 seed to get to quarters against Ironside. Thank you, Bama Sex, for that. Well, here they are again with a new squad. Short-term memories we all have, right?
I know, that was in Frisco. I was there, too. I'm kind of embarrassed.
Yeah, I probably watched that one. And, of course, you know, the Battle of the Northwest is always fun. So Sockeye getting knocked out by Rhino in pre-quarters is noteworthy. And that's a drop, unfortunately, on a low disc there, intended for John Lee. A chance to break back for PoNY, down 2. Isaac Saul will get foot blocked. Owen Murphy says, take that away.
Great positioning.
He was so jazzed, he didn't know what to do afterwards. Owen Murphy strutted about and then was like, all right, I guess I'll pick this disc up if no one else is. He just walks away and his team's like, no, go get that.
You gotta check it in.
Reset that. Here he is with the disc. Murphy having a great game. Marks, player to look out for. He'll laser one. He's got an open Rafi Hayes. Maybe he shouldn't be open back there. Not the person you want to let get loose. And it's another score for Rhino Slam.
And another score for Hayes as well. PoNY had Bo Kittredge marked up on Hayes, likely because of Bo's athleticism and experience in the game. But he kind of looked back at his teammates and said, hey, y'all, where was the up call? Yeah, I didn't even know that throw was coming.
Yeah, a laser, low laser. I'm not sure he would have even had a chance. Came in pretty fast. Look at this low release from Leandro. Does that look like a hook to you? That wasn't the hook. So I hope it didn't look like the hook. That was the turnover he threw.
And you know, credit to Rhino. They have a drop and then immediately make a big play like a foot block, something that really energizes your team, then can continue on with another great huck catch in the end zone.
We have an update on some of the other divisions here. Erin Moraka is following around. Not a lot of elimination games. There are only 4 currently happening. And she tells us right now, Schwa, who just had an upset earlier over Traffic, their Northwest compatriots, is up on Molly Brown 6-4.
It's curious.
It is curious. We'll keep track of that one for you. So a lot of upsets potentially brewing One of them you're watching right now, Rhino Slam, the 16 seed. Alex Thorne and PoNY trying to fight back. Thorne up to Kocher. Kocher not finding a lot of space, has to get to Keegan, and he does. Back over to Garvey. They try to reset the stack. Thorne. Too high for Kocher. This will go out of bounds. Nothing is working for PoNY.
This is a tricky spot here for both teams. But we'll see if Rhino can capitalize again.
Duncan McNally, that's an easy swat for Jimmy Mickle. Was a little too aggressive. And the wind a little too strong, but Mickle will test it out. Rips one deep to Grant Lindsley. He's got chasers. He's got 3 behind him, and it's gonna be a knockdown. No chance for Grant Lindsley. Too stout of a defense as Daniel Lee was there with followers behind.
Lindsley was so deep that that throw had to hang, which gave plenty of time for Rhino defenders to get underneath it.
Sims up to Buoy. Buoy moving it fast, too fast, a turn. It was bound to happen, Emmy, that a little bit of the turns would come from Rhino Slam. This is the chance that PoNY has to get a hold here on a sloppy offensive point. They lose this one, and they're in bad enough rhythm. Like, I think at this point you want to get out of half being down 1 or 2 and then fight for the second half. Garvey. The wind getting fiercer. You know, before the game, Coach Ben Van Hoevelen from New York told me that he wanted the wind, thought they had a better chance to defeat this team with the wind. And I'm not so sure about that. Garvey got Thorne, hits him. So they recover for the score.
The second PoNY score, where Garvey is right outside that front cone of the end zone and finds a striking teammate to connect with. And there was some frantic energy in that point, really from both teams. Rhino making either some kind of errant throws or maybe not the best decision, but PoNY taking a couple times to put it away as well. But I think, Tony, to your point earlier, that was a critical hold for PoNY to have any shot of getting back in the game.
Well, apparently their defense isn't going to do it right now, Emmy. They are 0 for 4 on break opportunities. That's not the stat line you want to have. Portland 2 for 6. We've seen 2 of those big breaks, so they are continuing up 2 breaks here in this game. PoNY prides himself on the D-line. That's what's going to have to get them out of this hole. But the hold has to happen first from the O-line. They got the hold. Now they're going to need some breaks. They got the wind to help them. Haven't seen Timmy Purston. He's mainly on the D-line. We do see Rafi Hayes out there, of course, number 17. Leandro Marks, number 82. These are the folks doing damage. Trevor Smith, number 27 for Rhino Slam. Number 24, that's Nick Jackson. And this is up to Smith, to Jackson. Up to Rafi Hayes. The depth might not be there for Rhino Slam, but don't tell that to them. A young team, Sam Frainer to Rafi. Sorry. That's up to Trevor Smith.
Great layout. PoNY really pushing the defense towards the far sideline.
Trying to make the around break go into the wind, but this was gonna work.
Another one over the top.
Beautiful throw from Leandro Marks. PoNY wanted to force him into that wind, and Leandro Marks says, thank you, I'll take it. I'll just lay this up nicely. Count getting up high. That's the second high stall count that Marks is able to keep his eyes downfield and make an easy throw to an unguarded receiver, making the perfect spot there, and that's John Lee. one of the captains. And as you just heard there, a timeout for this Rhino Slam team as they try to keep the focus on. And there's Timmy Purston running out. It seems like he's kind of like the mastermind behind the team. Oh, and our producer told that he thinks that does look like a shorter version of Timmy Purston. Chris Hancock wearing the orange ski cap. If you've been around the Northwest for a while, you've seen that orange ski cap wreak havoc on teams for years. And it's usually in the form of Timmy Purston. Hancock, the other veteran leader of the squad, now wearing it. Does that strike fear in your heart, Emmy, when you see that orange ski cap?
It looks like a homage to maybe the Trolls movie or something like that. You know, I'm from Texas, so I see that orange, I think of hunting season.
Yep.
So in a way, that has some intimidation factor. I think what was really neat when you were speaking with the team earlier that, you know, he was keeping it loose, making jokes, but then got real serious about, hey, we know this is what we need to do.
And what did he say? He said, Timmy Purston said, hey, it's taking the kid to the zoo. It's, you know, keeping him loose. And you know what we got to do? We got to strike early.
Exactly.
And they did strike early. They went up 2-0. He's like,
mean,
you know, wake PoNY up and see where they're at.
So for us, we're sitting here, whoa, oh my gosh, can you believe it? But, I mean, that was the game plan all along that you heard an hour ago.
Yeah. So, you know, look loose on the outside, look like, hey, with a 16 seed, got a bunch of new kids. Wow, another report from the Portland area. Portland Schwa, the women's team, up 8-5 on Denver. Molly Brown, a very similar setup there. Molly Brown also the number 2 seed overall on the women's bracket. PoNY the number 2 seed overall here in the men's bracket. Both down big to Portland teams. The Northwest putting on a show at the moment. Thorne over to Garvey. Side stack. Yacht isolated in the deep space. Rafi Hayes tracks him down. No throw from Garvey. He'll look around for something else. Drop it to Keegan. This will go up to Lindsley.
I really like the over-under switching looks from Rhino. They know Yacht is a force. They know Lindsley and Kocher are deadly underneath. So far, it's making it very difficult for PoNY to advance yards. Yacht coming under instead of what he had been doing.
Yeah, like you say, there's nothing easy. Look at the swivel on Marks and the bidding Vin Buoy here, but Garvey keeps possession. And they are throwing a lot of passes here. Has to reset over to Lindsley. Wow, too easy of a D. Lindsley tries to force one through, and there's Murphy again.
Murphy finding that space.
Daniel Lee will send this one for Leandro Marks, who's got the spacing. That's a break and the half. Emmy, you want to go down and
I
grab
do
one
want
of
to
these
go
guys and talk to
down.
them at halftime? It's pretty exciting stuff.
Stand by.
So Portland Rhino up 8-4 on the defending champions at half. And they look comfortable doing so. And you know, the summation of this is they're just playing a very much more loose game of Ultimate, which means that they're hitting the open person. They don't have like some crazy schemes that they have to do. They're not thinking too much on O or D. They're just playing focused Ultimate. It's not a scheme that's going to win this game for them. They've decided it's not their D, it's not their O, it's just playing throw and catch Ultimate. I can dial this back to seeing this a long time ago. Hopefully we'll see who Emmy gets. But I remember Portland Schwa upsetting Lady Godiva in, I believe, 99. And the thing they told me was that it was all about throw and catch. I think Emmy's got one of the players down there. As you see the She's got Vin Buoy down there as we see the PoNY huddle here. The nerves have got to be there. BVH coaching and the white, he's going to calm them down. That I can guarantee. He's going to keep them chill. He's very good at that. Emmy, ready to go? All right, Emmy, take it away.
I am here with Rhino player. Tell me your name one more time. Sorry about that.
It's Vin Buoy.
Vin, we talked with some of your teammates earlier before the game, and they got real serious, and they said the key is to strike early. How do you think you all have been able to do that so far in this first half?
I mean, we're pretty bad with the disc in our hands, so hopefully that'll win. I think it's been working out so far.
The score certainly reflects that. You've really done a lot over the top, too, in the deep space. How does that really help build the trust with your receivers and kind of knowing where to go?
Trust is huge. Trust is one of our 3 values as a team. We play completely open lines. We've been doing that since, through August. We play completely open lines, so the trust is there. We love each other. This is a bonded team.
Now, definitely 2 halves to a game. So what do you do for this second half to keep the foot on the gas?
More of the same. Keep it intense, not get too jittery, I think we're not really afraid of anyone, and I think that's been showing.
Great. Well, good luck in the second half. Rhino currently leads PoNY 8-4 in this men's quarterfinal matchup.
Thank you so much, Emmy. That was awesome talking to Vin Buoy, one of the captains. They are loose. He just even kind of exudes a little bit of confidence. So we're going to take a little bit of a break here. We'll come back with some update scores from around the divisions. And we'll be back for the second half of this one. Stay tuned. You don't want to miss it. Exciting game here as the 16-team Rhino Slam up 8-4 on defending champion New York PoNY.
How about this? Hey, we got you. Yeah. And you're on. I'll do that. And the you're on will be like a couple more seconds. I just gave us a break. Gentlemen, 5 minutes.
Welcome back to this exciting quarterfinal matchup, elimination here in San Diego. The winner will move on to the semifinals. A lot at stake here. Obviously, the surprising 16 seed Portland Rhino Slam. As you see, the other brackets coming up here. Rhino Slam up 8-4. Machine, Chicago Machine. We called their game earlier as they knocked Truck Stop back into the pre-quarter bracket. They're up on San Francisco Revolver 8-5. Truck Stop goes down once again to their nemesis Ring of Fire in quarters. Ring of Fire will advance to play Seattle Sakai, taking Sub-Zero out again in quarters like they did last year.
So the winner of this game will play the winner of Machine Revolver, and it was just something else yesterday with Machine. They dropped a game to Chain Lightning early in the tournament in their pool play, and they did take half by 1 against Truck, but by and large, it felt like Truck was more in control, but they just went on a tear to win the game yesterday, and then now they're up against Revolver. Now Revolver having a bit of a rebuilding year this year as well. I think it's really interesting, the story between that quarter game and this quarter game.
I mean, as you said yesterday, if you're going to lose early. Chicago Machine loses their first game of the tournament. AMP lost their first game of the tournament last year in the mixed division. They went on to win it all. Could be in the cards for Chicago Machine. We'll find out. We're getting ready to start the second half here. A PoNY team with its back against the wall. Don't remember the last time we've seen them down this big. And Emmy, I believe you had another Twitterverse question we'd love to put out there.
I have another question I want to put out to you all. Please do your research for us. I got a question.
Please.
Let's just fast forward and say that Rhino's able to pull it off. Is a 16 seed upset over the 2nd seed the biggest upset in men's division nationals history? I mean, it's a big upset. It's probably the biggest one of this year's tournament, but I'm curious, did a 1 seed go down to a 6 seed in the past?
Yeah.
Or when was the last time that this happened? I wish I knew, but you know, that's the beauty of these kinds of elimination tournaments. You can't predict who's going to be here. You might try, but you just can't.
Got a fun fact from Anthony Nunez just now that John Lee, one of the captains of this Portland Rhino Slam team, was on the Stevens Tech team, Stevens Institute, with Marquez Brownlee, small school in New Jersey. That would have been a good trivia question. Not too sure how many people would have gotten that. Lindsley now.
The deep
Keegan.
cuts.
There's an open cutter and Thorne. Make it look easy. We're going to need that. Nice job from PoNY. A sleepy defense from Rhino on this one. And PoNY will get the hold to start the second half.
And PoNY has scored 2 times to that front cone on the near sideline, so it would be understandable if Rhino adjusted their defense a little bit to accommodate for that. But just because that's worked before doesn't mean that PoNY's not going to attack the break side. And Kocher showing a lot of patience, and Mickle as well. Oh, that Lindsley moves it back to the middle of the field, and that just allows Keegan to continue on. And you just have so much more room and space if you can move it to the other side.
How much do we talk about sort of the all-star team build that we see on this PoNY roster? You know, once Lindsley moved to the New York region, there might be another all-star player coming next year to New York region. Lindsley, of course, won a number of titles with Revolver, was a college champion with Carleton, I believe. Bo Kittredge, one of the most decorated players in the sport, moves over. They bring in Jimmy Mickle, national champion with Johnny Bravo. Chris Kocher, Team USA player. A lot of big names. And it's almost like you just kind of wonder if they have the same kind of chemistry that somebody like this unheralded bunch of friends here from Portland do. And this is a team that's a bunch of friends, Portland.
I mean, it seems like PoNY has had a lot of chemistry up until this point.
You know, yes or no, because they lose a regional final to Dig, where they were just flat, and they saw a zone that they weren't familiar with.
Yeah, it was high enough to affect everyone.
They have to battle.
What's our stall going to be at?
Listen to the observer here on the stall call. Looks like a bailout stall.
I think it was about 3.
Murphy will have it. So yeah,
Saying
Murphy
3.
has the disc here. They go down to sub-0. They have to fight to win there on University. It hasn't been an easy season for PoNY. They've lost a lot of regular season games. And I wonder if chemistry is an issue. Sometimes having too many stellar players can be a problem. Oh, Hayes goes down, Schlor on him. Hayes will loft this up into the air. It's anyone's disc. Usually this is a Jeff Babbitt disc. And
called that one.
Yeah. An injury. No foul call here, just an injury, as Babbitt is what he's in there for. If it's going to be hanging in the air, it's going to probably be Jeff Babbitt's disc.
Now this throw was a flick that went around to this side. It is going into the wind, and that makes it a little more difficult, pops up. When Rhino has had success earlier in the game, when they've tried to move it over to this near side, they've used a backhand where they can have more control where it stays closer to the ground. You have somebody like Jeff Babbitt in the mix and their other athletes. You can't have a jump ball.
Yeah,
Hung up in the wind a little bit. Sam Freener will come off, ran into the big body of Babbitt. Hope he's okay. He looks to be pretty much all right, but he'll take a seat on the sidelines, and Babbitt will hold the disc here, as this is a big opportunity for PoNY to break on defense, seeing how they can move with the wind. They kind of got a good lineup out there. Jimmy Mickle, of course, an offensive threat.
Tap it in a star, please.
Kocher, oh, sorry, that's Sam Little behind him. He's a great handler, number 9. Up to Ben Katz. Katz looking for Little. Swings it through the middle. Nice pickup there from, I believe that's Joshua Stevenstein. Mickle to Little. Great defense from Slam. Up to Meeser. Jabon Meeser played for that Rutgers machine team.
The other machine.
Sam Little out of Georgia. He'll bomb it deep to Mickle. He's got the spacing. Nice throw from Sam Little in rhythm to a charging Jimmy Mickle, and that's a break, just what they needed for PoNY on this second half, beginning of. Just Yoda'd that.
Just a nice put. Jimmy already had steps on his defender, Daniel Lee. And there was just enough curve on that disc, really using the side that they are. And that was a Mickle sub on an injury substitution, but would not have happened without Jeff Babbitt being there to get that jump ball. This Babbitt's first game that we know of that he's even been cleated up this whole tournament.
I'm pretty sure it is. He might not even have been cleated up, and it's a darn good thing he was. So Rhino, of course, here, the Portland team, showed up at the Schwa house last night with a care package, wishing them luck. Well, it looks like that goes both ways.
Yes.
As Schwa and Rhino both performing well, the Portland teams.
Got them some good juju.
Ella Hansen, one of the stars for Schwa, normally on our broadcast team when she's not playing. And Weaver as well.
Yes.
So we're wishing those two a continued great performance.
Okay, I did get a tweet. Revolver losing to GOAT in 2014 in quarters.
That was a 15-2 game? I don't think GOAT was in the 15 seed, but it could be. Or 16. I don't think they were 16. Revolver's 1. Rafi Hayes looking. Defense is tight from Little. He is able to find his connection, however. A bid there is too late from Hatchet, but he gave it a run. Up to Jackson. Jackson fakes. Jackson wants it deep. count's getting up high, has to go through the middle to John Lee. He's able to do so. Owen Murphy looking. Owen Murphy wants Trevor Smith. Gets it to Jackson. Jackson faking. Nice dish to Rafi Hayes. He's everywhere. Up to Trevor Smith. Smith will put this to Leandro Marks, and that's a goal. Going away. They break the pressure and get a hold.
And that was just like the break before was the break that PoNY needed to have. This was the hold that Rhino absolutely needed to have.
Yep.
And coincidentally, the score was in pretty much the exact same place. I'm sure Mikkel's footsteps are still there in the grass from the point before.
Like, follow those footsteps. I mean, I wish we could all follow in Jimmy Mikkel's footsteps. College champion, world champion, club champion, multiple club champion.
Just really nice closing speed.
Player of the year.
There, though, from the Rhino receiver.
Well, Marks is one of the fastest players I can think of. He might win that B Ultimate speed contest, although he's here competing. So we see Nick Jackson getting a sip of water, although it really looks like the John Cairns I was talking to on the sideline. So I wonder if they switched jerseys or something. We'll have to get some reports on that. That's what we'll do, Emmy. We'll just ask for corrections all across the internet, as long as you don't say anything untoward, which I would never do on a broadcast.
Oh, no.
Unless I was paid.
I would not even say something untoward,
I was
even
kidding.
if I was paid.
I was kidding.
We will not accept bribes for throwing shade.
Yeah, right? Yeah. That would be awful, actually. Honestly, like, that would be, never do that. It's about as low as you could get if you did something like that.
Well,
Keegan there wearing the number 89, not the number 2, because he doesn't have the number 2 in a dark jersey for some reason. I don't know if they realized they were coming to nationals.
you know, things happen in the wash.
Things happen. Wow, right away play call dialed up for Grant Lindsley. He's got chasers, but he'll go up and get it. Perfect dime ball from Jimmy Mikkel. That's a rhythm shot there. Lindsley getting fired up. This PoNY team starting to realize their time is now if they want to take this.
Jimmy Mikkel in power position. You just better watch out, and especially when his receiver is Grant Lindsley. You just see that acceleration. I think he was behind his defender and caught speed to finish ahead of him.
Lindsley calling out the defense there on that one. Purston, Buoy, Daniel Lee were all there. Lindsley says, yeah, I count all of you. 1, 2, 3. There's only one that counts. That's the man with the disc in his hands. Number 10, Grant Lindsley. Showing a little fire out there.
And a lot of that you have to do to really keep your teammates fired up. Keep yourself fired up, too.
Yeah, they need that.
It is a cool 85 degrees here. Direct sunlight, no clouds. A long tournament. And you just were Speedy Gonzalez straight into the end zone. Yeah, you should get pumped up about it.
Yeah, and get this team fired up. Like this, New York needs some fire. That's what they liked. Last year we saw Ben Yacht getting a little testy in the semifinals match. It's not like you need to manufacture it, but when you make a great play, yeah, celebrate it. Tell your teammates, yeah, let's do this. Rafi Hayes drops it back. Trevor Smith. Babbitt reading, almost gets there. A piece of the body instead, and that's the man that went out earlier. Great to see him back out there. That's Sam Frainer with the disc. It must have been scary seeing Babbitt coming over the top.
Good body control for Babbitt to avoid contact as well.
And another bid there from Drost. Mike Drost can't quite get there as the PoNY defense sniffing something here. And now the pressure will relieve a little bit with Owen Murphy in the middle of the field. Murphy drops it back down across, to Rafi Hayes. Up to Lee. Lee looking back to Murphy. Now they've got some breathing room here. Cross field will find even more breathing room to Jackson, up to Marks. There it is. A hold for Rhino Slam.
Jackson pointed to the far side, asking for that blade. Ask and you shall receive. what we've seen all day from Rhino. This time it wasn't the score, it was the assist, but they know that that works so well. Just continuing to do so.
Doesn't look like a 16 seed to me. I mean, like, you know, you're seeing all the pressures. You see Babbitt come flying across and almost get there. Nice hands and concentration from Sam Frainer. And this just looks like a very well poised, pretty good team. You know, obviously in the Northwest, you got a traditionally has been the strongest of the regions with Seattle and some strong, furious George teams battling it out there, and Portland. Kind of dropped off a little bit of recent, but Sakai, the #1 seed here. So Slam had to play them at regionals.
Rhino Slam just still with that 3-point advantage, and we've seen really great offense and defense from New York, but that's not enough.
It's not enough, no. They're gonna have to break several times to win this game. Dragon Thrust, meanwhile, we saw them evade a slow white, at least two opportunities on offense to hold and win. They come from behind with a lot of turnover point drama to win an elimination game, and now they are up on the #2 seed Seattle Mixtape 9-6 and their elimination quarterfinal. Yacht now with the disc for PoNY. And he'll juke and get to Jimmy Mickle. All hard work there from the big man.
Mickle doing Mickle. I mean, I could repeat what I said earlier about the footwork and the acceleration, and that's exactly what you see. I do want to call out number 29, David Sealand, on Rhino. That is a difficult assignment, and when Mickle got into power position earlier, he did a good adjustment to make that huck not possible. Yacht had to come underneath. It ended up being a hold for PoNY and getting the score, but you contain as well as you can, and if they throw it up the line and catch it, that's what happens too.
Sealand, one of the young players on this team that his teammates Owen Murphy and John Cairns pointed out to me as someone to look out for. Again, the focus on this New York D-line and what can they generate. Jeff Babbitt will stay out there. Bo Kittredge, the veteran, Sam Little, Jack Hatchett, you haven't called too much of his name. He will pull, he's got great pulls. Disc in his hand. He can get some Ds. I've seen it before. A longtime Boston player won a ring with Ironside 3 years ago. And here they go up against this stout Rhino Slam offense. The usual suspects, Jackson and Trevor Smith. Jackson with the big fake. To Rafi Hayes, who else? In the middle of the field, and Marks, who else? Marks surveys, finds Lee, a bid from Jack, it's a bobble. That should have been out, it is. The bid from Jack Hatchett causes the bobble from John Lee. An opportunity, Sam Little, Hatchett, Babbitt deep, send it to the big man, feed him, that's a goal! Jeff Babbitt goes up big, over the shoulder, offhand, and makes it count for the PoNY break. And he's watching the screen. You gotta see that one.
I mean, I'm curious about the replay just as much as you are. Babbitt going full extension. The disc reaching away from him. What a read. This is certainly so far our play of the game.
I love that Jack Hatchett looked up, saw Babbitt, and saw Babbitt sort of in space, kind of covered, and I was like, all right.
You put it. You definitely put it. Especially at this point in the game, we said they have to make those plays, and after he caught it, it was like the Incredible Hulk making himself known after something important has happened in a movie or whatever. That is clearly what has happened here so far. They're narrowing the lead, but they still need more. That's the thing. That play was important. Still, they need more.
They gotta get you gotta get it again. And you know what? It's up to Portland. This isn't anything about PoNY's game. This is Portland's game to lose. They've been they've been the better team. Can they stay that course? Trevor Smith will pick up center to Murphy. Sides it over to Jackson, up to Frainer. Looking for Rafi Hayes. Defense a little tricky. That's a pit call. Gibran Meeser guarding Leandro Marks. That's a good matchup. Meeser's got the Jets to maybe. Meeser's one of the faster. He's the fastest guy in New York. I do not. Well, Lindsley's probably faster. Maybe they're equal.
Okay, that works.
I do not know if he can keep up with Leandro Marks.
He called pick on. Okay. So do you just want to come to me? Because I couldn't see. Yeah. That's fine. So yes, that was a pick. Yeah.
All right, it's coming back. It's gonna be here on 3.
Pick call. They'll send that back.
And you do feel the energy has shifted a little bit in favor of PoNY. They feel more energized. It's curious to see if Rhino will kind of stay in the headspace where they've been.
Yeah, will they get nervous is the question, right? Knocking off this top #2 seed here. And if you start to get nervous, you start to shorten up your throws. A D attempt, but it's not quite there. Trevor Smith will get it. This is going up. Rafi Hayes is there. Wow. What a crazy throw from Leandro Marks. More than just speed. He's got some crazy throws. He's thrown 3 big goals so far. He's the one to release. And he's making PoNY pay.
What's nice about the blade is that when it finally comes down, it's so precise, and that makes it so difficult for the 2 PoNY defenders. They're closing in. If there was any float or if the disc was flatter, then that would be much more easy to defend. But Hayes has been very difficult to defend so far in this game.
Yeah, I'm not sure he has been defended much at all. Love to see what his stats are here. Let me see if I can pull him up on Tom Styles' commentary source program. I'm gonna take a quick look here. Let's see.
Oh, and the Twitterverse is confirming what we learned earlier about the upsets. 2014 Revolver 1 seed lost 12-13 to GOAT, the 10 seed.
The 10 seed, so that's not a 14 seed, 13 seed difference, yeah.
Yes, that's
That was
true.
a big game.
That was a big game. Again, that 2014 in Frisco. Hello.
That was a fun game. That was a quarters game. Trying to look for Rafi Hayes' stats. I know he has 4 goals he's got. There's a big pull from Buoy. Nice one. Thorne will back up, center it to Sean Keegan. Sean Keegan, one of the early cuts from Truck Stop, 2004. Well, he was a freshman in college, so he made the team the next year. Grant Lindsley will shake out the trauma from his hand.
All right. Everyone downfield set. As soon as you guys are ready, you can go ahead.
Nothing up line, Stone. Hey, so let's go. Kocher. Vertical.
For a vertical. Garvey. Thorne. The movement, though, is still a little stifled from this offense. That's a good look. And back to Thorne, like the quickness, the alacrity of that. Back to Garvey. He's got to keep moving. Want that disc to keep moving. Over to Yacht. It's been a little bit quiet. Some call here, I'm not quite sure what it is. Foul on the mark, maybe a little too close there on the body from Buoy. And Yacht will check it in. Nice switch Defense downfield. Garvey will rip one to Kocher. He's got a chaser on there, but Kocher will get to it.
Oh. And
backpack in, goal. It's a goal. The defense there from Patrick Beckett, but Kocher comes down with it.
And really, really nice flick huck there from Harper Garvey. But when you see somebody with the speed of Chris Kocher headed towards the end zone, that's another one that you just have to put.
There's the foul. Wow. That looked pretty clean to a foot block
It
there.
did.
As you see Garvey's throw go up in rhythm, we know he's got the power. Nice attempt there from Beckett, really close.
Little
Great
accidental
concentration
piggyback ride there.
From Kocher. Yeah, I don't know what he was holding up for. Yeah, he didn't want to step over the line for something he was in, clearly. As you see Chris Kocher, one of the stars for this team. Really just one of the most reliable players in the game. His footwork, his speed, his quickness, his ups. He's sort of that guy that can do everything and doesn't make mistakes. I think he's most known for being a mistake-free type of player. I saw earlier too on the sideline that after that Daniel Lee almost foot block, he walks off and he's laughing and joking with Chris Hancock wearing the Timmy Purston hat on the Rhino sideline. So they're still staying loose, which is great.
You have to. It still needs to be fun, and regardless of one way or the other, being grumpy isn't going to help you play any better.
Well said. Trevor Smith up to Rafi Hayes, still unstoppable.
I love the different looks of the various players that PoNY has put on Hayes for defensive assignments. It gives kind of a freshness. It makes him have to work a little bit harder because he doesn't know what that defender has to offer.
Whoa, there's a miscommunication and an interception, and now PoNY has the disc. Up to Sam Little on the O-line last year, so he's got the skills. Oh, had Hatchet. Don't like that delay, but it works out a little bit as he gets it to Steven Stein.
It's here.
Marks.
But he has
violation.
possession. He's running out. He can start stalling. He needs to come back and ground tap.
Okay, there you go. Thank you, Marvin Vong.
I respect that. I didn't love the bid, though, from Marks
Yeah.
at the reception of the disc.
Steven Stein. Well, center up to Big Bo Kittredge. Kittredge with the forehand. Up to Babbitt, no. Short-armed, maybe the nerves there. From PoNY. I don't know if that's Joshua Steven Stein, sorry.
Great catch. Nice greatest attempt, but unfortunately no teammate was there.
I want to say that Ben Spielman is number 3 because his roster's there. Up to Babbitt for the break. Can he get there? He does easily. And a little discombobulated point, but PoNY gets the break. And we are back at a tied game. They're closing it down just like we thought they might. Checking in on Jeff Babbitt to see if he's okay. Went down on his wrist right there on that bid, and he's been holding it now after this point. We see him kind of bent over there, Emmy, in the back, taking a breather.
And
nice greatest attempt.
Yeah, valiant effort on the greatest attempt. It didn't look like that maybe that was the best option, though, to start. Babbitt just has so much power with every step that he takes. Hopefully, though, his wrist is okay.
I don't think he'll be fine as we have a timeout here on the field. All tied up at 11s. Emmy, what do you say in the huddle on this one? Pick your huddle.
I will pick my huddle to the PoNY huddle, because
Yeah.
we talked about Rhino huddle earlier.
Looks like that's Isaac Saul
Yes.
on there chirping.
So Isaac Saul is giving the motivational speech. That's exactly what you need to do, right? This is your like remember the Titans moment where the point of the movie, my club captain said, we have got to have our own sports movie where the music, the inspirational music starts playing, and this is when we have the heroics charging into the battlefield. This is the time to do it. They have clawed themselves out of a deficit. They've tied it up. We felt that momentum shift, and it really, you could cue it at when Babbitt had that nasty sky. They've used that as fuel to move them forward.
Emmy, I want to play for your team. I'm in.
It was a fun team.
Were you giving that speech?
I love giving motivational speeches,
all right.
but it was actually my captain, Zoe Clark, who is here writing recaps for USA Ultimate, who came up with the inspirational movie moment.
Yeah.
Find that in your life and on the field.
We see Coach Ben Van Hoyvelen there cheering, clapping for his PoNY cheer they're doing right now. Of course, that's an original sound. We hear that from a lot of teams, and even their logo has been stolen, so, you know, everything's free game these days. Nice pull there, though, as Paget streaks down, trying to get a quick one. Kocher on the D, and already PoNY dialed in super fast on this one. Murphy's going to have to find an open space to get out of this. Resets to Trevor Smith. Smith jukes it up to Jackson. They've gotten out of the danger zone, and there's a call. A little too much body from Bo Kittredge, who seems to do that rather consistently, I will say.
Back in on 1.
He's a big body, too.
Whenever you're ready.
He's a big body that often will often foul in the markets. Let's just put it that way. Trevor Smith having a great game. Lasers this one to John Lee. Lee drops it under for Marks. Wow, Bo tried to get there but couldn't. Meeser on Marks' back, but Leandro comes down with it. Up to Lee. Daniel Lee now with the disc. They're making progress through this stiff PoNY defense. Oh no, a miscommunication. Leandro Marks thought that Lee was gonna get there, but Mike Draw says, I'll take that instead. And now a chance again for PoNY to break. A little thing like that could be all it takes. Paget with the disc, up to Sam Little. Little looking to Meeser, back to Little. Who does he want? Sends it easy to Paget. It's D'd by Owen Murphy.
How about that? An interception for the interception, tit for tat.
Absolutely, yep. Owen Murphy does not give up on that play. He's having a great game. Hayes, Smith, Jackson. Jackson will rip it deep. John Lee's open. Mike Dross is trailing him. Mike Dross goes up and steals it away. And there's a call. It looks like an injury. Cramping, we can hear it called. Thank goodness. What a play. That's 2 big plays now from Drost. Wearing his twin brother's number 80.
He can take his time.
Just nice positioning there from Mike Drost. There he is helping, helping out John Lee. Great sportsmanship there. Again, Mike Drost, normally number 16, is wearing, again, his twin brother, Ryan Drost, who was here at Nationals last year playing in the mixed division for the New York team Exist. Did not make it this year, so that's a free jersey. It's an open jersey. It still has the name Drost on it. So in for the injury timeout will be the injury sub. Jimmy Mickle comes on the line.
This is the second time he's entered a point as the injury sub. It worked out for PoNY the last time.
Guarded again by David Seelan, though, when he rips this one deep to Little. What a catch! Wow, there it is, the lead finally for PoNY. They finally have a lead, and that's an amazing play there. Mickle to Little.
Mickle called foul. You can see the mark. Kind of puts his backside into him. He falls down, but it really didn't affect the throw at all. Little in full stride.
As you see the Owen Murphy D there ends up being for naught as Drost gets his second D of the point by tracking this one down, and the pressure from PoNY finally starting to pay off. Here's Mickle, he does get karate chop. That's a good call. He was fouled on that one. Little collects it. PoNY is hanging in there and now has the lead.
And the injury substitution ends up working. We hope that the Rhino player is okay and with his leg cramps and all of that. But injury substitution paying off for PoNY to be able to put in such a thrower in Mickle. We've said they've had great plays, but they've needed to do more. They've needed to do more. Their plate is not empty. They're coming back for seconds and thirds. But I doubt Rhino is done. But here's their chance to answer.
You have some more updates. Chicago Machine up 13-10 on Revolver. Let's get back to this game. Rafi Hayes, Sam Frainer, Owen Murphy, now up to Daniel Lee. The consistent rotation. Can they get one on a hold here? The defense, well, we're gonna have a break in the action. Love when you're getting all into the rhythm of the game and then it's like, well, let's just take a break.
And that has an effect on the play, too. When you have stoppages,
I think
your
it was about a
offense
second
is
after you caught
flowing.
it, so it should be on 2.
I mean, on 2.
A little more space for now, please.
Yeah, sideline gives some space to Trevor Smith. He could boost it. Instead, down the middle to Jackson. Jackson will put this nicely to Marks. Tracked down, but not enough. And they hold in the pressure back on New York, tied at 12s.
And you talked about the flow from an offensive standpoint. Rhino able to find that right away. Again, the timing between the 3 throws and the cuts that went along with it was just perfect. It was right along the force side, but when you have the timing that's so well executed, it's very difficult for your defenders to change their positioning and adjust to where they need to be.
I love the confidence of this team, Rhino Slam. Like, you feel like you just threw 2 turns to Mike Drost, and yet you come up and you're just dialed right in and firing. It's short memory, you know?
And, you know, you think, oh, wow, look at these all-stars on the other side. It doesn't matter. None of that matters. I mean, we play, how many times have you played up against a team or like, oh, gosh, I'm so intimidated because such and so-and-so has done all of this. Once you come out here, you've got the throws, you've got the catches, you're making the plays in the end zone. You have some turnovers. Let's have a short memory and just get back out there.
And you know what? Also, it's fun. Like, when you play great players, I'm sorry, but that's awesome. It's so fun to match up against talent. You don't want to always get schooled by the person you're guarding against, but sure is fun to run with them.
You might school them, too.
Kocher will survey, get it over to Jimmy Mickle. To Keegan. See Garvey set the stack here, but they'll reset it over to Kocher as Thorne sets the stack. Lindsley with the ball to Kocher. Keegan. Risky, and it's in for the goal. Keegan to Alex Thorne.
Talk about threading the needle.
I mean, I thought that was going to get D'd.
It seemed like the Rhino player was, I don't think they could have been in any better position is what I'm trying to say. Maybe one step behind, but that's the break side. They were in position on the force side. Really, really great field vision.
Nice camera work here from our team. That's Hambone on defense for Rhino Slam.
Sean Keegan, though, that throw, that is a fantastic throw.
Showing a little love to Alex Thorne there, the the Pittsburgh native and champion with that college program, of course. That was a memorable final with his brother Max.
And the timing there too. It made such a difficult throw possible because he had that half step on his defender.
So PoNY holds. They've got their break advantage, and they will try to milk this game out here. Would be great to get another D. But here's our usual suspects: Frainer, Murphy, Jackson, Marks, Smith, Rafi Hayes. That's the horn. 20 minutes, game to 15, and has been announced. Marks looking for Hayes underneath. There's Rafi Hayes, makes it look casual. Murphy up to Jackson. He's got Frainer, and he hits him. Also downfield is Duncan McNally. Drop it back to Owen Murphy.
I love these around breaks from Rhino.
Yeah, they're kind of using the pressure from PoNY against them. In some cases, the lack of pressure. Let's see what they're looking for here. Taking their time. Love the patience. Marks in high bailout situations has been able to score. McNally now with the disc. He'll dump it back. Rafi Hayes fighting to get open and does. Jackson has a little bit of everything. McNally, give and go, up the line, feeds him, goal to Leandro Marks. Nice leading pass from Duncan McNally.
Was almost like a handler weave. The cutters were back further away from the disc, giving space for those three handlers to kind of work together. Rafi Hayes comes in, mixes it up a little bit, but then how about that leading pass for the score? We know that Marks has that closing speed, and that was a different look. It wasn't going over the top that we've seen many, many times from Rhino, but they were able to find a different piece of their playbook and their toolbox to really make a difference.
It's like a poised veteran team out here. And we're talking about a group of rookies, and half the team is new to nationals. And Aaron, you know, when you play like summer league or fall league, every now and then you call a point and you'd be like, all right, let's everyone touch the disc, right? Like
what's that called? O'Malley point, I think?
I don't know.
I think it's called O'Malley.
All right, Twitter, tell us. What do you call a point when everyone on your team touches it? Please let us know.
But it almost seemed like that was...
That's what just happened.
Right.
Yeah. This is the quarterfinals at Nationals, and every person on that Rhino Slam O-line touched the disc. Now back to PoNY here. The pressure is subtly on them. Like, you can feel sure that they probably feel pretty confident, but they turn this disc over and that's a whole nother story. They've got to hold here. This disc will sail out of bounds. That will give them an advantage. From this spot here, already we know players like Mickle, Keegan with the disc can bomb it from the brick mark. So Rhino's got to be aware. Keegan will check it in. Guarded by Patrick Beckett. Lindsley wants the under to Mickle, but it's teed up by Vin Buoy. Sorry, Daniel Lee.
Amazing anticipation.
Daniel Lee gets the run through, and now Vin Buoy with the disc. There's a call downfield. Here it is, the opportunity for Portland Rhino Slam to take a late break.
Yeah, it's at 9 now.
Okay, so coming on 7.
Everyone's good here?
Coming in on 7! No, no, it's got to be 6. It's got to be 6. So highest can come in on a pitch. Coming in on 6.
Garvey guarding Buoy. Buoy surveys. Oh, immediate dish. It's dropped and caught. Picked up by Duncan McNally. Buoy, he'll send it deep. 2 defenders there, and it's pulled out of the sky. What a magnificent play, and a timeout over there. David Seeland makes that dig. And wow, what a point here. An opportunity for Portland Rhino Slam.
Surprise, surprise. They do an over the top. The wind pushed it down, but enough for that great read.
Unbelievable catch from Sealand. Going down with the left hand, eyes on the disc the whole time. This is a chance to punch in a break against this PoNY team, the defending champions, late in the game. There's Sealand, hope he's all right. He really went down hard on that one. He's shaking his head. He says, yeah, I think I'll be all right, but he's taking a sub. He's gonna, I think, step off right now, which could be an interesting opportunity for Portland Rhino Slam to put in their best handler that they have on the disc right now. And they do. Trevor Smith has come in to take the disc from Sealand, who will go off with an
10
injury.
seconds to set.
So Smith, one of the older veterans on this team at 27, will have the disc in his hands on the goal line, chance to break. What does he look for, Emmy?
They've been going over the top. You see a lot of poaches on the force side.
Wow. No fear from Buoy, dropping it over the top, give and go. It's caught by Trevor Smith for the goal. The D was there, that's a goal. There it is, Keegan trying to argue his case. It's not gonna work. It's a break for Portland Rhino Slam. PoNY has got to be rattled right now.
This was the same defensive look we saw from PoNY's O-line in the second point of the game. They're trying to go into this space. That's exactly what they wanted for Mickle to come get it. But Rhino just made it happen.
Smartly, Smith goes with his right hand and not the left on this one. Two players go down, and now the sideline getting pretty jazzed up. I think the Schwal players next to us are showing some support. No, that's just Seattle players. I don't know what's going on. It's a lot of excitement here.
We're sportsing here.
It's
we
sports.
are sportsing. Kudos to Rhino. PoNY has been on a bit of a streak the past 4 or 5 points or so. Rhino taking advantage. How about that run-through block
by Daniel
on
Lee.
Mickle? Holy moly. But those are the plays. You gotta make the big plays. You can't expect them to turn it over. Sometimes that happens, but you just gotta go get it yourself.
Well, if you thought the pressure was on PoNY last point, they don't score this point, it's game over.
Dial it up.
Now they're sideline trying to cheer them on. As you hear the chants of PoNY, PoNY, the pull will come up. The usual suspects on the line, Thorne, Garvey, up to Keegan, Mickle, the big bomber. Lindsley streaks downfield. He'll be covered by 2, but we'll get an open look. Kocher now there with him. He'll bomb it instead to Yacht. Yacht's got the room and the space. He'll rise up and get it. We're going to Universe Point.
And that's too easy, right? You could see what Rhino was trying to do with their over-under defense. It has worked well for them in the past, but Yacht gets some separation. Kocher has the disc. Lindsley has the disc. I mean, how doesn't that happen, right? 14 apiece. This is a ball game.
So it's officially overtime. Each team has 1 timeout, so they're given an additional timeout. We're going to listen to the referees a little bit here. Sorry, whoops, the observers.
Oh, apparently Twitter has also told me Schwa is not hyped for Rhino, but because they took the lead on Molly. You know, very much credit, giving credit where credit is due.
Yeah, I just heard lots of cheering. I don't even think Schwa's near this. I think that could have been any number of fans on the sideline. And awesome for Schwa to be up right now. 2 Portland teams, again, leading the number 2 seed in their respective divisions. Confirmed game to 15. Let's look in here at the PoNY huddle. Here is Portland Rhino Slam. receiving on offense for what may be the biggest upset in the history of this tournament, 40 years. That's not an exaggeration.
It is literally the 40th anniversary of Club Nationals.
Now, to be fair, some of those early years only had 5 teams and 8 teams and 16 teams, 12 teams. So this differential of a 16 seed and a 2 seed hasn't happened that often. Here's the universal line for Rhino Slam, and it's who's been out there the whole time. But you know what? Daniel Lee, who got the run through block, is getting cheered on by his teammates. He's out there on offense.
He's been such a playmaker for Rhino all day. Some of that has been on the D-line, but their D-line offense has been really good too.
The pull from Conrad Schlor. Coming down to Trevor Smith, made an excellent play earlier. Owen Murphy, who's been a star getting these blocks. Nick Jackson, unafraid to bomb it deep. Sam Frainer, guarded by Jeff Babbitt, and there's a call. Little picked here is Spielman, so I misidentified him. Our program does not have Ben Spielman in there. So it does, but only as number 97. He is guarding Daniel Lee. Babbitt will check it in here with Sam Frainer. Frainer looking for Leandro, marks on the under to Rafi Hayes. Hayes looking for Smith. Smith's trying to get open on Sam Little. He finally finds the reset. Frainer, Babbitt tracking him down. Up to Rafi Hayes. Too easy for Rafi Hayes. Up high for Leandro, marks, he can't get it. PoNY can break to win and save their season. Nothing short of a championship will be acceptable to the defending champions. Sam Little will walk to the disc. He'll serve it. Conrad Schlor goes deep. Under, Kocher. Kocher has it. Looking for Lindsley, has to get into the reset space. He'll send it deep. Babbitt is open. Jeff Babbitt for the win. They've done it. They've come all the way back to fend off an unbelievably spirited effort from this Portland Rhino Slam team. Nothing to be taken away and shame from either side. An incredible effort. Just a great game, Emmy. And there it is, the end. PoNY will move on.
A very, very exciting finish, and kudos to PoNY for keeping their composure, just going step by step by step. Proof that you dig yourself in a hole, you just claw 1 point at a time. But wow, what a run from Rhino. The farthest that they've come in 5 years, 5 or 6 years. For this quarterfinals appearance, they were so strong. They stuck to their game the entire time. Just small margin of errors. But now PoNY has a chance to continue to defend their national championship. Unbelievable.
Some quick updates. PoNY now will play Chicago Machine in the semifinals. They have knocked off Revolver. It is 14-all. With Molly Brown, double game point, I believe, with Schwa, the other Portland team. Sixers may have just knocked off Seattle Riot. And yeah, we're gonna see a replay of this game. Sorry, things are getting a little excited here at the end of quarterfinal round here in San Diego. Emmy Fitzgerald, anything else you want to add for this exciting tournament here?
I think that this is why you watch the game. This is why you play the game, for different matchups like this. Clearly this is happening all over the tournament. Again, Rhino Slam should have their heads held high, feel incredibly proud of that performance. But hats off goes to the Pride of New York. It's not done though, that's the thing. Okay, they won a thriller. They have to continue that momentum on for the rest of the tournament. I believe they're done for the rest of the day, so they'll have some time. But we're done for this game.
Thanks for watching. They got to figure out much more than that. They got to play a lot better if they're going to win this championship again. We're going to look at some highlights from this game. There's a lot from both teams. Thanks to Fulcrum, Eddie Chan, our whole team for putting this together. You watch. We'll sit back and enjoy.